Disgraceful. MSNBC host trashes U.S. veterans. Despicable, despicable. What else do you expect from leftist MSNBC? They are the most un-American, one of the most un-American media media companies out there. I mean, it's like they go out their way to prove how much they have a disdain for America, and Americans. So we're gonna talk about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Zero Hedge. And they report that MSNBC host Lawrence O'Donnell elicited backlash Friday for declaring that U.S. veterans represent a greater terror threat than the undocumented illegal immigrants crossing over the border in their hundreds of thousands, in their hundreds of thousands per month. It, it's factually inaccurate. If you look at the stats, it's not true though. He just make that statement because he has a disdain for, seems like, veterans or anything American really. These leftists are sick. They hate America. But reacting to the two New Year's Day terror attacks on his program, watched by practically nobody now, O'Donnell declared, quote, "The simple fact is this country has suffered more deadly terrorism at the hands of American-born citizens who are veterans of the United States military than people who have crossed into this country at the southern border. It is very clear from the evidence that if you want to worry about terrorism in this country, the United States Army is a much bigger problem than the southern border," he further proclaimed. O'Donnell referred to Timothy McVeigh, the domestic terrorist behind the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995, to argue that American veterans have carried out more violent acts in the U.S. than illegal immigrants have. Let's just play the clip here. This is ridiculous for him to even make this statement, but let's play it.
No one who has ever crossed the southern border in the history of the existence of the southern border has killed more people in this country than Timothy McVeigh, who was born in Lockport, New York, the northwest part of the state, into a white Roman Catholic American family with roots in this country that go back farther than Donald Trump's roots in this country. The New Orleans terrorist, like Timothy McVeigh, reached the rank of sergeant in the United States Army. The simple fact is, this country has suffered more deadly terrorism at the hands of American-born citizens who are veterans of the United States military than people who have crossed into this country at the southern border. It is very clear from the evidence that if you want to worry about terrorism in this country, the United States Army is a much bigger problem than the southern border.
Do you hear this idiocracy? He says our army is worse than the illegal aliens coming in, committing crimes, committing the rapes, the trafficking, the drugs, the murders, all those other crimes. Our U.S. Army is worse on America than that. I mean, this guy's despicable. But the host conveniently left out the thousands of illegals that have been convicted of violent crimes. That's what I was just alluding to. Even murders, and instead suggested that every military vet is a potential truck bomber. And he got blasted online for this on X. Frank Bujasi said, "You really can't hate the media enough, right? Because they make you hate them. I mean, they make you." Janet Mono said, "Thanks for sharing what your overlords told you to tell us." The vocal vet said, "Excusing the terrorism of the cartels and sex traffickers, I'm just going to bookmark this for later." Right? Right? I mean, come on, are you serious right now? That's what I was alluding to as well. Dennis Michael says, so the media supports the U.S. sending warriors to go fight wars for their politician friends. Then they use the veteran status of these warriors as an excuse to not criticize the invasion at our southern border. And the real problem is veterans. That's narrative building. It certainly is. Then you got David Adams. He said, I don't remember the 9/11 attacks being perpetrated by military veterans. He might have forgotten about that day. We haven't, right? I mean, this is I don't understand where they get these talking points from. These people really do hate America. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.